During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice. Or if they do, no one says anything. I don't want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I've been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they are on their guard.
What's with the escort? That is...
Oh, shit. Katawa doesn't have the girly voice. Alright, what's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to his cell.
What's wrong, Yu-chan? That's right, we're just going to play a little game of Risk, remember?
I don't know, Misha, that seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly.
That's not true, Yu-chan. Yu-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the compatibility to pull off superhuman bursts of speed.
Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging, Misha signs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. On top of that, I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center surrounded by chairs, and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There's a few regular desks and chairs stacked on the side as well, extras perhaps. Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old-school records and documents. Not much else, in fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here, or something. But the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early?
No.
What do you mean, no? Does it mean no one else is coming today?
Yeah, that's right.
Before I manage to ask, let's kiss. Shizune claps her hands together very energetically.
Hey, Jen, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to! Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We could explain to you while we set everything up.
While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, sussing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from my 2 fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention.
Yu-chan, Shi-chan wants to know if you are taking too long to make a move. Shi-chan also says that she will help you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council.
I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no!
Shi-chan admires your fighting spirit and would like to be a benevolent dictator who will spare her people if you agree to join the student council. You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this...
She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, and returns signed back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing.
Wait, please slow down, Shi-chan. Shi-chan says you're going to lose.
Tell her that I will crush your world empire with my rebellion.
Okay.
those eyes of hers shine with childlike mischief.
She says you have no choice if you keep playing like this, so you won't.
Did I just turn on the volume? No, alright. It's like that she's just going to psych me out. Looking at the board again, I have a pretty good defense set up, and I'm not going to risk it doing something reckless. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. Shizune adjusts her glasses vigorously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration.
Wow! Jen, you lost when you allowed me to take North America. I mean, Chi-chan, not me. Getting control of North America is ambitious because it provides a 5 army bonus, but if you can attack it from 3 fronts, you must defend them all.
Without the music, I cannot concentrate. Turn the music back on, damn it.
I thought you had more guts. How disappointing. Ambition, Hee-chan. Your play needs to be more daring. Ambition, ambition. I was really excited when you took South America, but then you switched to playing defensively just because you gained a small advantage. That's no good, Hee-chan.
I was trying to play it safe, alright? I'm not gonna listen to a little bitch with pink hair in a tiny olive-colored green dress. I'm not gonna waste my time here.
You had taken enough risks, and when you did, you didn't follow through. That's terrible, Hee-chan.
My voice is becoming so dry with her voice. Damn, what's it to her if I play too carefully? There's no need to rub it in my face. What the hell? Get away from me!
I wonder if you've been any good for the student council.
What's this, reverse psychology? I guess I don't have to worry about joining or not in that case.
Giving up just like that? I expected more of you.
Seriously, Shizune tried to taunt me into joining the council. Besides, I don't even want to join. It's only my second day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a good look at other clubs yet. These two, they're a little weird. Fine, I'll consider joining the council, but I want to take a look at the clubs before I decide.
Really, Hee-chan? You're not just saying that to make us feel better?
Yeah, I'm not sure that I want to.
Aww.
Why'd she get all close like that? Seriously.
Okay, Hee-chan, we're not going to give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance you'll come around. Come on, we could really have fun. You could play more Risk, and maybe one day you could beat me unless we graduate before that.
That doesn't make me feel any less reluctant about joining you now.
Surely you're not that horrible at board games. Maybe we can play a game we know then. I'll give you a handicap.
I might have said that just to make me feel better after all.
Aw, that's cold, Hee-chan.
I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I want to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How long can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall.
It should be unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Hee-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. Can't miss it. Do you want us to know where it is?
No thanks. It's okay. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye!
One flight of stairs up and I run into problems. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain. Like always hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs starting which class they belong to, but then there is a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar so I could see its opening and nothing else. It would make sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it seems that someone is inside, and I can ask for directions no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back in the moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to the school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. Ow. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I'd anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head over further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek hello on my lips is weakly snatched away. She's really pretty. This is not what I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing there at the doorway staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently taking her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes. Doesn't look at me.
Hello there. May I help you?
Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's a soft, measured voice that reminds me she's being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi. Sorry for intruding. I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand.
Care to take a seat?
Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling, and and the slight cloudiness to her eyes means she must be partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure makes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office.
I take it you're the new student to Yamaku.
Yeah, I just transferred yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hastened to match before realizing the futility of the action.
I'm Lily Satao. Pleased to meet you.
Hisao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup.
Would you care for a drink?
Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the protest in stride. Without another word, she steps up the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out among the shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching her side whenever a container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone attempts to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I've never heard of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of her preparing the drink.
So,
her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance.
Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school.
The school library. Some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it being stirred.
I'm aware of Ms. Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no?
That's right, in the science room with Matao. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand.
He's quite the character. I imagine you'll come to like him, most do.
She sits down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. This reminds me of that one part in Final Fantasy VII where Cloud finally meets Aerith. This girl is so sweet, and this story is so tragic, I imagine something's gonna happen to her. I hate to say it, but I'm getting a strong feeling. Nevertheless, the smells quite nice. I hardly think I'd be that hard to choke down. Thanks, Shatao. It tastes really nice. She smells and quickly waves her hand in front of her face.
Lily, please, there's no need to be too formal.
She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. Guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So, which class are you from? I imagine it's one of your third-year classes.
Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the 3rd floor. Same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi,
and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself with a faux pass. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem the least bit put off by it.
Mama, there's no need to change your speech on my account.
Sure, sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here.
An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. Well, the same can't be said for everyone. Many have come to terms with their conditions.
A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic. I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's quite a nice place. Thinking on it, this might be a version of the place beyond my school that I'd like to have lunch at.
I come here fairly often during lunchtimes. My duties as class representative don't have enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea.
Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kinds of clubs are you here to join?
The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunchtimes, the basketball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, though such as art and music clubs. At a time when I'm wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away...
Oh, I meant to say it in his voice. Whatever, seems slightly unappealing. I'll get voices mixed up. I wonder if this school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club?
It isn't, though it's encouraged.
Good, that's a relief. I've really let down my guard around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I start drinking it as Lily does the same.